And especially for me, like I said, as much as I love, filming YouTube, I love putting out the way I look on social media. I love filming my exercises. I love it. I do. But sometimes, like, you don't want to put your whole life out there and you want some privacy.
You know a lot of bodybuilders, and not how popular would you say like eating disorders are, like the mental anguish or body dysmorphia, like all these kind of things? How prevalent is that in the IPB pro circuit, or is it mostly the amateurs? Like, do you have any experience with this?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like, especially when I'm in contest shape, I feel extremely small. Everyone's like, no, you're not small. um, but I think, yeah, I think everyone experiences that once they get to a certain level, a certain, bigness, that once that kind of goes away, you will get body dysmorphia for sure.
Wow. And I remember Cedric McMillan, and he was in that interview, and he was saying, yeah, I got picked up at the airport before guest posing. He was saying how small he was, that the guy picking him up was small. And he just finished guest posing, and it was like, small, like what? Now personally, I don't know if it's cocky, I never smelled small. Even when I dieted down and I was at my smallest, I had no body dysmorphia. Perhaps I felt bigger than I actually was, but what I did experience was I felt fat. So when I go from competing and I'm 4 to 5% body fat, and I go in my off season, especially in my younger years, and I would gain body fat and say I'm up to 15, which is still pretty lean. After being 6 and going to 15 felt fat. I started at 15, and I at 14, 13, 12, every week you're getting leaner and leaner, and you feel like, wow, I look great. And you see a pump in the new vein that you got, and it's like, wow. And then the reverse happens, and you go from 6 and you're going back to 15.
All that goes away.
It's blurring, the lines are blurring, and then you're at 10, and I'm like, oh, I feel kind of fat. And then the comments, people start commenting, and this is before social media. I didn't have anyone follow me when I was younger. I didn't even know how to use the internet when I was younger. You'd have comments, people comment, oh, what happened to you? You were like ripped a month ago, now you're fat. And I'm like, I'm fat. And I was like, and then you start looking and you start believing and you listen to other people. Yeah. And then now it's social media. I mean, I can do the best video in the world. There can be 1,000 great comments. There's going to be 50. They're going to be like, you suck, you manlet, fat piece of shit, loser. Like, so you're going to read so much shit. And so it can get to your head, but I've gotten to the point where I'm like, listen to the good, the bad, you can address it, but don't let it affect you. But has that affected you? And do you see that today?
It used to affect me, not so much now, because I feel like once you go through the process so much, you just know what to expect. And I've gotten so much criticism and negative comments through my entire career that nothing really phases me anymore. But I, because of that, I always have people like reach out and say, like, how do I handle it? And it's like, listen, I didn't handle it, when I first started to receive it, but you learn to just, it's part of the game. You get lean, you get a little fat, you get lean, you get a little fat. It's part of the process. And people that make comments, especially on social media, that's who are they? They have no relevance in your life. They don't know who you are. So you just, in my opinion, just got to ignore it.
You're such a much younger generation, about 20 years younger than me. So you kind of grew up with this. And like when I grew up, I didn't have all these negative comments. You had your 20 friends that you knew, and you didn't see anyone else. Like, I thought I was jacked. I was 128 pounds in high school, and I was the strong guy in the school. Like, I was the strongest, that had the most muscle. So you think you're great. I entered my first bodybuilding contest, and I'm thinking, I'm going to just dominate, because like, I don't know anyone that has my muscle. And then I'm 140 something pounds, and I'm in the heavyweight. I win lightweight, and then the heavyweight juniors there. He's 208 pounds. He got second at nationals bodybuilding. I'm like he's basically looks like you when you were, 19 years old. I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm just a small thing. And so you're not aware of everything that's going on in the world. You don't have that awareness. But nowadays, all I have to do is go on Instagram, and I'm going to see 25 guys in 5 minutes that look way better than me. And the same is going to apply to girls and young people. And so the pressure to look good now is so much worse than when I was young. Like when I was growing up, guys, it was no big deal. Guys, you can look like anything you want. Girls, they all have to be skinny. Nowadays, girls have to have a waist this big, boobs this big, surgery, ass all over the place. And it's and it's Brazilian buttlets. It's impossible. The guys are the guys look like you. And so the kids are looking and it's like, what is happening? So the pressure in social media, unreal. Did you grow up with this pressure? Did you feel that?
Yeah, and I think even now I still feel it because of social media, and to be as popular as these certain people are, including myself. I feel you have to look a certain way. You have to be presentable. Back in the day, I wouldn't say, I won't categorize everyone, but like you said, back in the day when you were in the off season, people got fat. Like no one cared. They all we saw was what they look like on stage. We didn't see them really in the off season. Now, because of social media, off season or not, you have to look presentable, which I also think can play a role in the unhealthiness of this all. We all have to look a certain way to be presentable, to represent, this brand a certain way, to do this a certain way. And then they, a lot of them, I wouldn't say competitors, maybe like, the IG influencers, shit like that. They probably stay and do certain things that are unhealthy to maintain a certain look, because that's what they think they have to do when it's going to backfire.
Absolutely. I feel like the pressure's gone like a completely different way. Cause like at 18 years old, I'm a natural kid, just lifting weights. I have a lot of muscle. I felt amazing. But if I were 18 years old, if I went rewound in time and I was 18 and I was that now, I would have scrolled through. I'd have been just like I would have been a nobody. I would have been compared to all these guys, all these Gymshark models. I was nothing. But when I was in my own time, I felt like I'm the shit. I'm winning everything. I'm dominating. Why would I take any PDs? I'm winning everything. But now it's so easy to compare by swiping. You can see everybody. And so that pressure is tremendous. So my advice to people is like, stop comparing yourself to other people, because even at our level, like I have over 1 million followers. And you compare how are other people, you can feel like shit. You can be like, oh, I only got 100,000 views in this video. I must have done really shitty. But meanwhile, it's only because you're comparing yourself to the people who are just that much better.
Yeah. I think that's another big downfall is everyone tries to compare each other to everyone. It's like, stay focused on you, stay in your own lane, and everything will happen over time.
Yeah. And it's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to say than to do, but
Of course.
It's really good advice. And another thing I've always said to people was, I stopped giving a shit about what other people think. Just like, I'm going to make a video and people are going to make fun of my voice or how I talk or my height, but just do it anyway and stop worrying about what they think and only care about what you think. And once you can do that, life is so much better.
It is like you realize like you can't please everyone. So you're going to have people that love you, and then you're going to have people that hate you. You just got to do it anyway. Like you're never going to please everyone. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Like some people are going to say you have a blocky waist, and it's like, what? Like you just don't see it. But if you hear that message versus the guy that says, oh, I think you have a really small waist, and you just listen to them, then they're going to keep shitting on you. And there's no matter what you do, you could win a show and somebody's going to say, oh, you didn't deserve it. Your back wasn't big enough. Or, oh, your arms are too big for your calves. And there's so many negatives that are going to happen. Or you're 15% body fat. What happened? You're so fat. And it's like, he still has abs in the off season. How is that fat? You know what I mean? Like, but it's gone so far that people, I don't think they understand how to be normal humans anymore.
No. And again, I can even say for myself, I feel like even to a degree, I have to look a certain way. Like, yeah, I'm in my off season, but I still have to maintain a certain look to be, presentable, to be, who I am, so to speak, to be presentable for Hostile, presentable for all my supplement brand. When in the reality, like I said, back in the olden days, it didn't matter. I'm not saying if social media wasn't around, I'd be a complete, fatty here, but I would probably enjoy more food more frequent than I do now. I will say that.
Yeah, having that certain look. And I know that like I do all my videos with like a tank top. And I know when I was prepping for competitions and I was on a lot of PDs, I had a bigger chest, the striations were prevalent. And when I'm screaming and shouting and telling you how to diet, well, you see a shredded guy telling you versus a fatter guy, a normal built guy, it doesn't have the same effect. And so I personally don't think I would have the same YouTube channel now as if I had been natural the whole time, because if I was natural, I wouldn't have had the same amount of muscle. I wouldn't have had the same ability to influence people. And so it's sad because a lot of the younger people are going to see this and think, well, I have to have single digit body fat. I have to have this much muscle or else people aren't going to listen to me. It's a sad reality.
It is. Yeah. Like I always said, if I could just erase social media, I would. As much as I love it, it really can just, it can put people in like a weird place mentally, you know? And
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. And it's like, and especially for me, like I said, as much as I love, you know, filming YouTube, I love putting out the way I look on social media. I love filming my exercises. I love it. I do. But sometimes like you don't want to put your whole life out there and you want some privacy. And then you know, you try to be a little private and then people are like, oh, you always this explanation, why are you doing this, yada yada. And it's like, I'm still human. Like I have feelings. I get emotional, and sometimes I just need a break.
Absolutely. And I mean, for me, I'm pretty much an open book and I handle criticism quite well. I mean, I can sometimes attack back, but to me, that's for drama and views. Like somebody pisses me
Yeah,
off and I make a video about them. It's good. It's good for the channel. Now, my
yeah,
girlfriend, on the other hand, she does not handle it well. So if something bad's happening or negative, or people start making fun of me and she sees it, she can't, I can handle it. She can't. So I'll have to, at behind the scenes at home, talk to her and like, it's okay. They said this about me, but it doesn't matter. And it pisses her off 10 times more than me. And so people don't see that. They don't know what's happening behind the scenes of like, how's it affecting your girlfriend? What does your parents think about all this? Your family, your brother or sister? Like there's a lot of things that people just don't realize. It's just like your person, but they don't know that there's more than just you involved. There's other people. And so sometimes people attack me or make videos about me and they're so used to me responding. And so if I don't respond, they think that I somehow lost or that they're right. And I'm like, no,
yeah.
I just have other reasons not to, and it's not worth it to me. And there's other, well, let's call it a positive video that I can do that doesn't have to be negative. And I can't attack everyone.
No, it's true. Like I'll even use my mother as an example. I know more. She knows more about people talking about me than I do because she'll send me everything. She knows everything before I do, and I just have to tell her, I'm like, Mom, look, like I love you, but I don't care. Like it's never gonna end. Like so, just stop looking for it, stop searching for it, and you'll be you. It's fine. Like people are always gonna talk. Like you just gotta let it go. And she's very like not the person to let things go. I have learned to do that. She's still, especially when it comes to her children, right? So like, you're gonna be protective over your children no matter what, and that's just the type of mother she is, and I love her for it. But like, there's some days I'm like, Mom, I don't care. Like, just let it go, please.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. And I have people that I've hired to like actually find and research other videos for me to do topics and stuff. And they started sending me every single time somebody mentioned me and I'm watching, I'm like, I don't have enough headspace to hear all these negative videos and stuff. So I had to stop going for all the negative. I had to say, like, I don't want you to send me any video from these 10 people that are going to do videos about me because it's all negative. I just don't want to hear it. And so if I don't hear it, it technically didn't even happen in my mind. Cause like,
Right.
it's funny how I look at it. Like, you have millions of people around the world that I've never met and they're writing comments and I don't know who they are. And it's like, how am I letting these magical comments that appear from people I've never met and will never meet affect how I feel on the inside? Like, what is the point?
Exactly. No, I agree. I agree 100%, man.
All right. That's about all the questions I had to ask. Is there anything that you wanted to ask, or is there anything you wanted to mention?
No, I think this was a very good podcast. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about a variety. I think we talked about a ton of different topics and we'll split it up into different videos. And I think that
Yeah.
people love it.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a good one for sure.